Guys, back with another video, and before we get into it, I just want to show you my channel dashboard. And I always will say it every video, I'm always going to show it to you guys, my subscribers and current, the views, my watch time, and current estimated revenue. A couple more cents than my last video, I think yesterday when I posted it. But other than that, we're just going to get right into it. And so the article that I'm talking about is from the Washington Post, titled Six Money Tips New Graduates Should Know. Now, I skimmed over it, but I'm going to go over it with you guys and give any input that I might want to add. And so, as we go down reading, let's go to the first one. It says, "Don't listen to the collective they." I'm sure you've heard someone say, well, they said you need to buy a home to build wealth. Or maybe paying rent is a waste of money. They may say, don't worry about paying off your college debt right now because it's good debt. Invest instead. Who are they? Now, I'm not going to keep on reading, but basically, after you graduate, or even as you go through, you'll see other people that you know or hear about that they're doing this and that. They have this money saved. They're buying that. And you get advice from people that hear this stuff and they go back to you and say, well, you should do this or you should do that. You're always going to hear it. Doesn't matter what age you are, you're still going to hear it from someone older than you or maybe someone younger. My advice is just take it, just listen. If you don't want to listen, take it with a grain of salt and do your own research. So I always say, just do your own research. Even if I were to give advice, still tell them to do their own research. That's all you got to know for this. And so if you want, I'll put the article link in the descriptions if you want to read on your own, but I'm going to continue to go on. So the next one says, don't believe people who say there is good and bad debt. So this is referring to debt with an adjective is unhelpful. It's just debt, and it all can be destructive if overused and too oppressive. So I'm just going to, instead of reading all this, I'm just going to put my input on this. So what this author is talking about is basically when you go on TikTok, even at YouTube, you're going to see all about, Robert Kiyosaki saying how he uses debt to leverage, or all these other people that talk about how they have so much debt, but they use it to buy assets, and with this assets produces cash flow, passive income. So, they're able to pay back the debt, but also make money for themselves. And I think this is more of a standpoint for people that wanted to just get into business. I think of it like that. If you want to be a real estate agent, or if you want to invest in assets, this is where you want to learn about debt and how to utilize it. Now, if you're just a regular college student, just graduated, going towards a path of a career, then you don't really need to, you could skip this whole part. This whole thing, you don't even need to read. It does not pertain to you at all. But for those that are, like I said, want to pursue that pursuit of entrepreneurship, then understanding and learning about debt, this would be geared towards them. So I don't think this part should really be in the article. But of course it is. And of course, the author says that, to quote, Warren Buffett, he says that his first tip would be, about avoiding debt. If I had one piece of advice to give to young people, across the board, it would be just that don't get in debt. I mean, it's simple. But of course, he's talking to the people that are not on the other side, that are trying to pursue business and do this and that. So that's my take on that. But let's move on. So the next one says, don't get used to the grace period for your loans. If you're graduating college with student debt, don't wait until you have to start paying back loans, typically 6 months after graduating for federal loans, to figure out what you owe. The grace period is a time to practice. You need to feel the pressure of how these loan payments will affect your monthly budget. So, just to put my input on this, when you are through college, and if you don't get like a Pell Grant or any financial aid, then of course you have to take out student loans. Now, if you're going to community college, they're kind of low. Then when you go to university, they're really high. They could be like 5 grand up to like 12,000 a semester, depending on what university. Of course, it could be a lot more. Some people, a person that I know personally, once took out 30,000 just for 1 year of student loans. That's a lot for only 1 year. So, of course, my advice on this, I'm not an expert or a financial expert, so do your own research as well. But I just want to say that when you do take out student loans, just know that you're using it to pay the classes, and that when you graduate, you will have to pay that later on. Of course, with student loans, they're very not saying lenient, but they really help in terms of payments. Like if you can't get a job right out, the gate, they help with lower payments, or maybe they do a pause. Of course, right now, as we're seeing, that I think they're supposed to start doing payments again for college students that have already graduated, because I know they put a pause on it. But you would have to do more research on that. I'm just talking about this article. But don't trip too much on it, honestly. I've known people just take the grace period, you're fine. The whole point is you're going through college. Try to find that internship or get that good job, and you're going to make your money. So again, it's kind of like it doesn't really need to be here. It could be rewritten, honestly. So the next one says, don't just focus on the monthly loan payment. I don't really say this again. This is literally adding to what I just talked about above. I mean, if you can, pay more than the minimum. If you can pay the minimum, just start in the beginning, pay the minimum. Like I said, it goes all the way back up to the first advice. Who are they? Well, they are going to tell you, pay more. If you can't pay more at the moment, just pay the minimum. That's enough of that. Let's go to the next one. It says, don't treat your budget like an advisory. And let's see. Ever been in love? Treat your budget like a love interest. Stay connected to it. Change when necessary and appropriate to make things work out. I mean, I don't really need to read all this. If you want, you can pause and read it. But it's just for me, my take on this, just be disciplined in creating a budget. Learn where you can spend your money. If you're young, you might spend a little over. You might have nothing at the moment. You learn as you grow. So don't stress too much on it. So the next one says, don't keep saying, I don't know. And so I like this point. Of course, I'm not going to read this one because I'll talk about it. Basically, whenever you're talking with anybody, friends, family, you always hear people, in terms of like money. If they're talking about anything in terms of like debt, or like we were talking about earlier, buying assets, buying stocks, investing. A lot of you'll come across people like, oh, I don't know about that, so I don't want to do that. You have the internet. I can go right here and type how to invest, and you can start looking. If you don't want to do it, you can go to the news if you really want to check it all out. How to invest. Countless articles. You can all do it right here. See? How to Invest and Get Started by Vanguard. Everything is at your disposal. And of course, this one says, what's FICA? I mean, if you want to know it, look it up. If you really want to click it, I can click it. See, if you click it, you can learn all about it. Of course, it's part of taxes, just FYI. But let's see if there's anything else. Honestly, to not throw shade at the author, it was a very quick and basic article for new graduates to know. But I think most of all, from my certain tips, is that when you're a new graduate and you're graduating, I would hope that you have networked enough as you were in college to secure a nice internship. And if you haven't, brush up that resume, find websites that help you do it, and start applying. Apply. Make sure you have a decent cover letter. If you don't have one, go on ChatGPT. It can help you do it. I've done it before. After you've done that, after you secured that job, know the pay, budget what you have and what you could afford, then everything else will fall into place. It's not as hard as you think, and all these, everything around you might be stressful, but it's not. One step at a time, and I promise you it'll be okay. But other than that, I just want to close out this article. If you guys found this very informative, I know I don't edit these videos, I just go right into it. So if I'm, I try not to cough, but if I clear my throat, I know it's a little annoying, so I'll try better not to do that. But I'm just trying to just go with it, go with the flow, get these videos out, and try to make a lot of content. Because as you can see, my estimated revenue is $1.36. I only just made a video the other day, right here. The AI stock everyone's talking about. It was pretty good. I know I got 94 views. So if you have time, go watch it. It's not bad. Just talking about the C3.ai stock, which earnings are today, I think, after hours, which should be soon. So if you do tune into that, make sure you go look. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll probably have another video out maybe today, tomorrow, I don't know yet. And that was loud. Alright, guys.